Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I recently was playing around with Nomad Sculpt and I created this cute little bitten apple charm, and I decided that I wanted to turn them into keychains. So I got them printed with like this white resin, and I was hoping that they would be like really smooth and finished, but when I got them they were pretty grainy and they still had pretty bad layer lines like on the edges, and the little bumps were still left from the supports, which is fine. It's just not what I was expecting when they came. So I took some paint brushes to try to dust off some of that graininess. I still don't really know what that is, maybe from like the sanding that they did, but I just dusted that off, and then I took a little X-Acto knife to try to cut off the rest of the supports. I got as much as I could because I did not have sandpaper, and it did not cross my mind to go buy some. I was like, let me do with what I got. So the finished result is as good as you can expect for someone who didn't have sandpaper, but I got it down as much as I could, and then I took them outside so that I could prime them or prep them for painting. We recently got a microwave delivered, and it came in this really nice box, which was perfect for spray painting because, you know, it covers the ground and the surrounding area, so the spray paint can't just go wherever it wants to go, or wherever the wind takes it, because it was actually pretty windy that day. But I went in with this white spray paint. When I was doing tests, I used like a gray spray primer instead, and I actually preferred the gray, but when I went to go paint it, the lighter colors did not show up the way that I wanted them to, so I ended up going with this white primer instead. The only downside of this is the charms are a little more transparent than they were with the gray ones, because the gray primer allowed in less light than the white ones do, but they still look good. It only is noticeable when you hold it up to the sun. But I'm just taking them all out, getting them ready to paint. I'm using Arctic markers. I did a review on these markers some videos ago, I think. I do really like them, and I wanted to use these so I didn't have to buy more paint. And it had all the colors that I needed, so there was no reason for me to go in and buy more paint. I'm starting off with like the flesh color of the apple. It was actually really hard to paint on like the edges just because of those layer lines. You can really see it in the bite. Like the paint would not stick on the edge of the layer. It would keep going into those gaps, so I really just had to like soak them with paint. But you know, I ended up doing like 2 coats of every color, and after that second coat it covered it just fine. It was really difficult to paint the stem and the hook that the keychain is supposed to hook onto. It was so hard to get in there with the markers. The markers have a pretty fine tip on them, but just there was just no room. That was my fault, the way that I modeled it. I wasn't really thinking too much of having to paint it. I was just trying to make it cute. Next time I think I would try to mask it off with like some tape, or I would try to do like spray paint for some of those harder nooks, because oh my god, that was crazy. But this is what it's looking like after 1 coat. The paint is pretty patchy, but then I went in with a second coat on all of them, and you can see that the colors look way more full, way less patchy. And then I'm going back and coloring in the produce sticker for all of them. It was the only one that really didn't need 2 coats, was the produce sticker, and then the detail on the leaves. I tried to make them consistent, but I don't know how to replicate things, so they're all like slightly different. They all look good in their own way, but no, they're a little different from each other, but that's okay. It gives them that touch, that handmade touch. But that's what it looks like with the paint and the details on them. And now I'm going in with UV resin. This was my first time using UV resin, and I gotta say, I hate this stuff. It's probably because I'm inexperienced. It's probably because I'm inexperienced, but it was such a pain because you gotta wear gloves, and then you're like, you can't get it anywhere because if you accidentally touch it, then you're gonna get like an allergy, and then you're gonna be like allergic to everything. And so I'm trying to keep it clean, but it's not clean. It's messy, and then trying to get like all the air bubbles out. So it's really difficult. And I had to do so many coats of resin. I think I did like 3 coats of resin. I guess that's not so many, but it is when you have like 15 charms to do. Okay, it was a lot. And then so I had to hold them under the lamp to dry, and that took forever. Oh my god, it was a mess. I'm not, this is just not my forte. But I found these really cute keychain bits, and I thought it was perfect because it had a clasp, and then it had another clasp, like a little clasp, and that little clasp was going to go in the loop of the keychain, and then the bigger clasp obviously is what you use to hook it to stuff. But the freaking little clasp, it didn't fit. I made it too thick, it didn't fit. So that stunk. But you know, I didn't want to make the hole any thinner because I didn't want it to be like a point of breaking. I didn't want it to be like super vulnerable to snapping. So I just ended up taking off that little clasp, even though it broke my heart. I took it off, and I just used the key ring to secure it. Now I have to make the backing cards for the keychains when I'm, packing them to get ordered. I wanted it to look kind of retro, so I did what I thought retro looked like. I don't know if I achieved that. I think I did. I think it looks really good. I'm going in with Clip Studio. I normally use Procreate to draw, but I actually really like using Clip Studio when I'm doing, is this considered marketing? I don't know, when I'm doing like advertisement type things. I don't know. Anyway, it came out pretty well. I'm trying to get more used to using Clip Studio because I know it's like more powerful than Procreate is, but I'm so attached to my Procreate brushes, man. I'm so attached. But I did find these Clip Studio brushes by I'll put her username, but I bought her brushes, and I really like the texture on this one. So this is like my main brush that I've been using when I choose to use Clip Studio. I put like a little barcode. I thought it was super cute. A cute touch, I mean. Obviously it's not a real barcode, but then I printed it on my favorite cardstock. This is speckled cardstock. It's not dirty, okay? It's speckled on purpose. I think it just gives it like, I don't know. I like it, okay? And that's what it's looking like. I couldn't decide whether or not I wanted to round out the corners or leave them sharp, but I decided to leave them sharp. I think it's more appealing with them sharper. And that's kind of the vibe I was going for. Looks pretty good with the resin. For someone who's never done it before, I think I did a pretty good job. And then now I'm decorating the accompanying sticker that will go with the keychain. It's gonna be offered as a freebie, like a little mini freebie, but I'll have like a bigger die cut sticker that's available as well. I'm not really used to drawing things that are not people in a very specific 3/4 quarter view, so this was challenging because I don't know how to make graphic art. I don't know how to make things like, I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know art words, okay? I don't know how to make it look like pop, like wow, look at this. But I think I did a pretty decent job. It looks graphic designy enough, I think, for something that wasn't graphic designed at all. Painting the skin on this apple was actually a pain because I didn't know what angle I drew this apple at. I didn't know what I was going for, but I winged it. I winged it. And then of course I have to go in and color in some of those lines. It brings it together when you soften up those inner lines. That's what that sticker is looking like. Those are the small ones. Those are the bigger ones, okay? Then I threw them in my silhouette portrait, and it didn't mess up, surprisingly. It didn't mess up at all. So this is how they're looking like in person. I think the colors printed really well. My printer's kind of shitty, but this came out nice. And I'm like, thank goodness, because I did not want to have to try to cut these again. And then that's what it looks like all packaged up. That was the idea I was going for, and it came out exactly how I wanted. So I'm actually very satisfied with how that turned out, and it's making me want to make more in the future. I might buy my own 3D printer, actually. Probably a filament printer though, because I have no room for a resin printer. And I'm not trying to give myself like resin cancer or anything. So we're gonna go with filament. We'll stick with filament cancer instead. That sounds like the better deal. So yeah, but let me know what you think. The keychains and the stickers should be available. They will be available in my shop by the time this video goes up. And thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for sticking around. Nice to see you again, and hopefully I'll be posting another video soon. Yeah, bye bye.